What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Savage Land. And today, I'm doing a special little episode on the Star Wars Vintage Collection Haslab, The Ghost. And I guess it's from the Rebels series. It's a ship that they're now crowdfunding for the Star Wars Vintage Collection. And I'm not huge into Star Wars, but I thought this was very interesting because Star Wars kind of got put down pretty bad with the Black series with the Rancor from 2 years ago. And now that I think about it, they didn't even have a Haslab last year for Vintage or Black series. So this year at SDCC2023, they revealed their new Haslab for the Vintage Collection, which is the Ghost. Now, with this ship, like I said, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, so bear with me if I don't pronounce any names right, but I was just interested in talking about this topic. I'm like, will this thing last? Will it survive? So the ship is starting out at $500. When I first seen that, I'm like, wow, boy, Star Wars just really doesn't learn, do they? But I hadn't seen the size of the ship, I hadn't seen the detail, I hadn't seen the offering. All I just seen was the $500 price. I didn't even know they were revealing a Haslab today, so that was cool. So basically, Star Wars actually did have another Haslab that was at $500, and that was Jabba's sail barge, and that thing was huge. Now that I've seen this from the review from I believe Pixel Dan or somebody went to go check it out, that was put up. This thing is huge. This thing is huge, and I will say right here. Now, the name of this is pretty much, is this worth $500? I'll put a disclaimer up. I think toys are worth whatever you're willing to put into them, man. I'm not here the one to dictate what you should pay for. Now, I have my own opinions on things, but I'm not here to say whether you should buy this or not. I'm gonna just state my own opinion. Do I think this thing is worth it? Now, for $500, what is this thing? What are you getting? So it's basically a ship called the Ghost from the Rebels crew. It's actually from the Ahsoka series that's coming out. She's a Jedi, played by Rosario Dawson in the real life show. But what you're basically getting with the size of this thing, it's 28 inches wide. So that's a little bit over 2 feet. The length of it is 3 feet long. So it's 2 feet by 3 feet. That is like the square footage on it. And then the height is 13 inches high. Okay, and it has some foot pedals that it sets down as if it's landing. Now, that is actually pretty huge. That's actually a pretty nice size ship here. Now, if you're gonna be charging $500 for something, it needs to be massive. I've said not too long ago, like, if they're gonna do a Haslab, won't you do a Haslab big enough, bold enough, that brings you into a world? So they got this ship for the Vintage Collection, and if you don't know what the Vintage Collection is, it's actually the Star Wars mini line. I actually like Vintage Collection more than Black Series because I believe you get the same value in articulation with the Vintage series, and you're paying a little bit cheaper. Now they've been kind of trying to creep them prices up, because Vintage line used to be about $13-14, but I've seen some of them figures get close to almost $27, like it's a regular 6-inch. But it's the ship for the Vintage line. They did a good job last time with the Razor Crest. The Razor Crest, and that's what I was thinking of first. The Razor Crest was like $300 and something. I'm like, why is this $500? Well, obviously it's way bigger. Now, what they should have did, which they'll probably do, is put a comparison up of the Razor Crest size to this, so you can see your price difference as far as what you're getting, as far as people who are on like, well, how big is this thing is, and that's all they're based off of. So obviously, I'm guessing it's bigger than the Razor Crest from the Mandalorian. But with this ship though, it's perfect to go with the Vintage Collection because you can make a more world building type toy. Now, with Star Wars, if you're a fly-by-night fan or if you're a hardcore fan, you should know those ships are basically like boats, basically like houseboats. Whoever's in their ship, if it's big enough, if it's not like a little speeder, then they're living in that. They have different quarters. They have a place you can eat, a place where you can store weapons, a place to sleep. So it's basically like a houseboat. It's basically like an apartment, a flying apartment. And that's what this thing is. And that's what it should be if you're talking about charging $500. I have a vehicle now / playset. So that adds a little bit more playability to it. Then there's also parts that come in and off of it. I think the ship is pretty cool. This is not my tea. I'm definitely not backing this or trying to back this in any way. I mean, everything is not for everybody, but it's definitely a cool ship. It comes with one driver already, and it's a girl I actually have in the 6-inch line. And forgive me if I don't know her name off the top, man. I'm not a huge Star Wars guy. Just put it like this: Phase 2 with Revenge of the Sith and all that. Those are my favorite Star Wars pictures. Like when Anakin was a kid racing the pod. That's my favorite Star Wars. So you already know I'm a fly-by-night Star Wars fan. But the driver of this ship is General Harold Syndulla. So you get her with her. So they already give you one figure. They give you a pilot. Now, the rest of the tier unlocks, which was smart too. They gave you all your tiers, not this secretive shit like, hey, we got these tiers and you don't know what they are. So the rest of the tier unlock is the crew. You need 11,000 backers to unlock the first threshold, and that's Ezra Bridger. He's another of the crew. You need 14,000. Wow, another 3,000 on there to get another crew unlocked, which is Kanan Jarrus. And then this bigger guy, I seen him in the Black series before, named Zeb. You need 17,000. Now, right now, this campaign is sitting a little bit north of 5,000 in just 24 hours, and it needs 8,000 to initially back. So it doesn't really need a lot to get this thing going, but the stretch goals are so far in between, man. You need almost another 9,000 just to get the crew, but it only takes 8,000 to get the actual ship, and they're about there with this. They're at 5,394 with just 24 hours in. But this ship comes apart. It has different compartments. It has a cockpit for the pilot. It has a place where they sleep with bunk beds. This thing, it looks really nice. Like even in the cockpit, it has 4 seats. It has a little extension in the front, like a little bubble where the actual pilot drives, and that comes off. I think that's pretty dope. And it's pretty much all the center line of the ship. The wings and stuff, I don't think there's anything in there. It might be some storage in there, but the center of this ship basically comes off and opens up so you can actually have a live-in, play-in world with that. Then it also has another detachable ship with it, the Phantom 2. Yes, okay, so the Phantom 2, it actually has a detachable ship that comes off. So it has a lot of parts that are detachable. It has a lot of capability, playability, just to open up a whole world. And this thing is massive though. It's really big, man. From the photos I've seen with it sitting on the table. And at the end of the day, after seeing everything that comes with it, I believe it's worth 500. It's right on the cusp. I had to kind of jog my memory a little bit and forgot Java's sale bars was $500, which that was at the beginning of Haslabs, and that thing goes for like $3,000. But I don't think a lot of people got that. I think maybe only like 10,000 people brought that. And the Razor Crest sold very well too, and that thing goes for a lot of money. But I think this is a good offering. I believe the fans were asking for it. They're starting to speak with it. I really haven't heard anybody speak out against it. And if they did, you would know this thing would be kind of struggling, but it's almost kind of gotten funded in the past 24 hours. Now we need to see how these tier unlocks go, because it's crazy. It's like, why would you get this ship and not get the crew? Or will they release the crew in the regular Ventures line, or have they already? I don't think so. I don't remember seeing any of these guys in the 6-inch line. I've seen some of them. Like I said, the pilot, the girl, I have her in my 6-inch line. But I'm just wondering, has Star Wars team learned their lesson? And it looks like they have. I mean, this is a very intricate playset. This is actually a diorama piece / vehicle / world builder. to be honest with you, because it's almost like a live-in playset for your figures, man. So I think they did a good job. I don't think they were trying to play it safe almost on the price. They were like, well, you know what? Let's go big or go home. And I said that before with the Haslabs. Go big or go home. It's $150 cheaper than that Thundercat set, and you're pretty much getting the same capability. Not in the same size or scale wise, but just getting the same capability and playability with the play set here, which is actually slash vehicle. So it's actually a one-up. You can actually pick this thing up and act like it's flying around, or put it in a space situation, or you can just have it grounded, or you can just have it really dialed, focus in for a shot just on the inside living quarters of this ship, man. But it's very interesting. Like I said, they kind of blindsided me with this. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, and it's nothing I'll be getting, but I thought this was pretty cool and just had to ask the question. So what do you guys think? Do you think this thing is worth $500? Do you think Star Wars has learned their lesson? Do you think the attitude for Haslab, go big or go home, should be the motto? This is the Savage Land. We do this for the love and beauty of SDCC2023. If you can, give me a like, comment, subscribe. Hit me up on my Instagram, man. I'm starting to get some Instagram followers now. I'm trying to make it happen, man. Like I said, I'm trying to be a part of the community. And with that being said, until the next time, God bless.